Dave, you're obviously a patron for Show Racism and the Red Card. What kind of effect do these kinds of visits have on school children and their attitudes towards the problem of racism in football?
Well, it's a massive effect, you know, because some of them are getting educated about it. And in sports, we don't care what colour you are or where you're from, because you're after the same goal. You want to win, and it's a great way of getting the message over. Because when the school kids are at school, none of them are born racist, so they must learn it from somewhere. So the more we educate them, the more we tell them about it, it's a great message.
In terms of the actual visits, we ask you the same question every year. Do you think racism in football or tackling it is getting any better? In the last 12 months since you spoke to you, do you feel that there's kind of a change in attitude?
Yes, there is a change in attitude. It is getting better. You know, there's obviously a lot more people being aware of it. The police are doing something about it. The fans are doing something about it. And you know, it's raised its ugly head again in the last 12 months, obviously with the John Terry case and Suarez case. But people are getting aware of it, and it's the best way of getting the message over is through football and many other sports.
In terms of those incidents that you just mentioned, it kind of brings racism to the fore, doesn't it? And the fact that there are still underlying elements of racism within the game. Do you think those incidents, although very disappointing, can help in the long term to kind of get that message out to more people?
Yes, it's going to help, and the more we do about it, the better it will be. But obviously, you know, we won't say too much about them incidents because they're being dealt with as we talk, or they're going to be dealt with. But at the same time, we've got to talk about it. We live in a multicultural society now, so at the end of the day, the more we learn about it and learn where different people are from, how they live, where they, you know, culture, everything, you know, it's important. And in sports, at the same time, it doesn't matter what colour we are. We're after the same goal. If we win the FA Cup each year, you won't complain where you're from and what you do and how you look, will you? As long as you keep winning, that's what it's all about. And if we can help, we're sure we'll do the best we can.
Cody, it's obviously the second time that you've come down to be a patron for the football club for Show Racism and the Red Card. Just what kind of things do you pick up from these kinds of visits? The attitude of the children, the way that they're more aware of racism after things like this?
Yeah, I think they are definitely a lot more aware. You know, it's important that we get things across that's important in football, not only in football but in sport and in the world as a whole, that racism does happen, and it's important that we stamp it out and get on top of it.
In terms of racial incidents in football, I suppose there's not as many as there were, say, 10 or 20 years ago, but I suppose there's that underlying current of racism that still needs to be tackled.
Yeah, of course it has. You know, we've got the 2 incidents at the minute in the Premier League which are being dealt with. You know, it's obviously a sour point, and you know, it's important that we keep stamping it out, like you say, and I think it has got better over the years, but obviously until it's completely gone and there ain't no stories of it happening, then it's always going to be an occurring point.
Did it still surprise you, even though it's a multicultural game, it's a global game, that racism is still a talking point?
Definitely, because it's, at the end of the day, everyone's the same. It doesn't matter what colour you are, everyone's the same, and like Dave said, everyone's in it for the same goals. You know, each week you go out and play with your mates and they're your good friends, so whether they're white, black or Asian, anything, it shouldn't matter what really, but yeah, at the end of the day, you're in it for the same goals.
I suppose when you get players like Willie Medjingweli as well, who's come over to England and doesn't speak a massive amount of English, but the language of football just tends to transcend it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, to start with, he could hardly speak any, but he's picked it up really well. And yeah, he's picked it up well, and he's settled in well. The boys have made him feel welcome, and he's a good player, and he's settled in well.
And the way that he's obviously come in and tackled that language barrier, but also he seems to be able to get on just by knowing football, and just everybody seems to speak that same language.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, everyone's on the same level when you're on the football pitch, and like you say, he's picked it up really quick, and yeah, fair play to him.
Jordan, you're somewhat of a veteran at these events. You've attended the last 3 on the bounce now. How does the attitude ever seem to change, and does it ever seem to get a little bit better every year that you attend?
Yeah, of course. Each time I'm learning more about how to deal with these situations, and obviously I'm experiencing different situations in football, and obviously with the recent case that's just come on, like it's racism out of football is more in the spotlight more than ever right now. So,
in terms of the visit itself, did you find it's as much of an educational experience for you as it is for the children you're talking to?
Yeah, of course, because as I say, like I haven't experienced racism that much. It's only been one occasion, and other than that, I'm new to it myself, so I'm learning about different situations that's going on around the world and stuff, and especially within the UK. So all these events, they're informational for the young people and for me and for others.
And do you like it as well when the children obviously come to these events and they're firing all kinds of questions at you as well, because they genuinely want to know what you think about it?
Yeah, of course, and you get some funny questions as well. So you never know what you're going to get, and it's a new experience each time.
Matt, no doubt an interesting visit. That first question that you got today about have you ever called someone else a racist name, that kind of came out of the blue a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on these panels a fair few times now. I've been doing it for a few years, and I've never ever been asked that question before. It's a really, really good question, and that's the idea of the afternoon, to get the children thinking. And I wasn't, you know, I'm ashamed that I have done it, but I had to say it because, again, that's what it's all about. It's about education, and I never ever have intentionally been racist. It was just a terminology that I'd heard being used in the area I grew up with. And then when somebody told me, do you know that word you're using now? I know you don't mean any offence by it, but if someone, you know, of Asian descent or someone who's, you know, Chinese was to hear that, they'd be very, very upset and disappointed, like you would be if someone commented on your colour. And I thought, you know, it made me sort of check myself, if you like, think about it. And I was just really, really pleased because that would be the last thing I wanted to do. So I had to be honest with children and tell them that, you know, we can all learn. You're never too old to learn, and that's what I did. So yeah, it was a really excellent question.
I suppose it kind of highlights the importance to be self-aware about how you treat yourself and how you treat people around you as well.
Yeah, definitely. But I think football's such a great vehicle for doing that. That, you know, we can go there. I used to play in that. We've got people on the panel who play for Coventry City, so these children look up to them. And yeah, it's all about education. It's all about actually just take a little minute, think about what I'm saying, think about the impact of it, and that's what this is all about. And then how can you go and put that right? So how can you change yourself? How can you change other people's views? And you know, there's a lot of children out there. I've been racially abused, and it's horrible. So I wish this stuff was around when I was younger, so I'd have known how to deal with it better. And I think it's been a really successful event. Coventry City should take a lot of credit for it, and I think lots and lots of clubs need to get involved because it's the youth of today, and using football, as I say, is the best way to get through to these children.
And in terms of yourself as well, it's your first visit to the Ricoh Arena with show racism on the red card. How have you found it?
Yeah, excellent. I think it's a really nice environment. It's good for the children to come and learn. Yeah, they get to look around the stadium as well, so it brings it all in. It's been an interesting day, good school trip for them. And I've been made to feel very, very welcome. As a player, I came here and I lost. It was a little hostile, you know, in a nice way with the fans. But I think it's a brilliant club, and but yeah, you know, I think it's excellent that they get behind show racing the red card, and third year in a row now. So it's brilliant. Hopefully they'll continue to do it.